Well, it's working now. Good, good midnight, everybody. I hope everyone's doing swell on this Tuesday evening. Um, so I'm gonna jump right into it. If you didn't see my post from late last week, I've got an interview today with Robert Writhe and Rikk R Treat from the San Diego horror punk band, the Writhers. And I am super excited to have them on here today. I'm going to go ahead and invite them into the chat so we can get this interview underway. I see that, Mr. Jake. Hello, sir. Good to have you here. Let's see if I can get these guys joined in and we'll get this thing squared away. There's Rick.
Robert's here. We just need to figure out the camera a little bit.
No worries. We'll get it squared away.
There we go.
Is it going to be us on top, like your video on top of our video?
Yes, I'm on top, indeed.
Oh, all right. Does that look okay? Are you hunching? Sit up straight.
Yeah, I'm sitting up straight.
Sit up straight.
Good.
Class.
All right.
Got the nice poster back there, or little nice little pink jack-o'-lantern to go with the theme. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
It's good to have you. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. I see that Dominic is on here. Our guitarist Chewy is watching.
Oh, cool. Maybe Kenny will jump on here as well.
Maybe we'll all be here in spirit.
And spirit. So how are you guys today?
Doing okay. I don't know. There's a weird sound coming from the closet. I was hoping it'd stop for the interview. It seems like it has, but
We'll see.
I keep something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But my ear's kind of fucked up right now, so
Maybe it's just a ringing.
yeah, that happens.
So anyway, let's talk some music. You guys have got some unreleased songs coming out on the horizon, from my understanding. You just released one, was it about a month-ish ago, Spend the Night?
That's true.
That is a really fun, really great track to get you in the spirit for haunt season. Feels like a very, very fitting song, especially when you're on the way, like say you're driving and finding a song to listen to. And that's definitely, it's going to be on my playlist to go to a haunted house, because what better way to spend the night?
I mean, the song's just about a sleepover, so I don't know what you mean by or anything.
Well,
You didn't catch the part about the pillow fight?
Yeah, the pillow fight and the panties.
Maybe I heard the wrong song.
Maybe.
Maybe I need to go back and listen to it.
Have you ever gone to Spotify and I think this happened with Devo. Like I went to Devo's page on Spotify and there were albums by some other artist going by Devo. Have you ever had that happen?
I don't use Spotify, so no.
Or Apple Music, anything where it's labeled as the same artist, but it's this is classic 80s band and this is some random dude in Germany or something like that.
It's always a random dude in Germany. That's happened to me. It's always been a random German and a techno artist or something.
Yeah. Are you talking about Mr. Monster?
No,
because
that
happened
one's
with
true
Mr.
for Mr.
Monster,
Monster,
yeah.
but there's also this band Pitch Black, and I think it was the same thing, where the band I was looking for was a East Bay hardcore kind of spooky AFI style band, and it was like a techno German rap group or something.
It's always great to discover new music.
Yeah, for sure, especially if you're looking for an artist and you don't find that artist. Oh, so let's see here. you released your newest EP, in one gulp, released last year during the pandemic. I I've been listening to it. I wouldn't say nonstop, but it definitely comes up. Like I'm just always like, oh, let's go back to, as soon as I hear rot, 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 I instantly go back to like Tony Hawk Underground days. Like I just like it just reminds me such as I could just picture skateboarding to that song, even though I can't skateboard, but Tony Hawk is a thing, and they always have killer soundtracks.
This is true. This is true.
Funny that you bring that up because we recently were placed on a Spotify playlist that's essentially the modern. It's called like modern Tony Hawk Pro Skater playlist. So we have, I think we have What Is That on there, which is awesome.
That'd be a good one as well. That whole EP could just kind of show up on the playlist. There it is. I need to pick me up a physical copy of that.
There's definitely perks to the physical copy, just as far as seeing like what the artwork was and the little like
beautiful
like that.
I love the pink and black aesthetic. It's it works so well for the artwork and everything. Now, Robert, you do the artwork, correct?
Yes.
Yes, I was thinking because I know like outside of the Writhers band, you are indeed an artist as well. When it comes down to you're just an artsy guy all around, huh?
I pretend to be.
I consider Robert the most stereotypical artiste that I know.
Yeah, I'm poor.
Poor? Oh no! But you live in California, so that's
So everyone's
poor.
It's so damn expensive. So you guys live in San Diego then?
Yeah. Well, yes.
We're based in San Diego. Chewy currently lives in Orange County. I was living in Orange County, probably moving back to Orange County. Ken lives in Oceanside, so it's still sort of Southern California, but mainly based in San Diego.
So how like Orange County from like San Diego? Like I've never been to California myself, so distance wise, that's
It's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's up where Disneyland is, so yeah, it's like if we were going to Disneyland.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Oh, I see American Grimm hopped on here. I met those guys at Horror Hound this past weekend.
Hell yeah. Dude, I want to go to Horror Hound. I want to play a Horror Hound. That would be sick.
I've been, because I remember I actually found you guys before I saw you. You guys were featured in Horror Hound a couple months. Maybe a year or so ago. About a year ago. It was when One Gulp came out.
Yeah.
Featured in their sound.
Shouts to Kyle, Mr. Gore, for getting us reviewed in there.
Yeah, it was definitely. I was like, oh, cool. I'm like, because I'd listened to the album, like, oh, cool. I can see what these guys think about it. It was really cool. It's always cool to see, like, because I mean, that's how I find some bands, like for instance, like the Tomb Tones. That's how I found them through Horror Hound, and I've become really good friends with their Kyle, their vocalist, and
Kyle's dope. That's a band. I would love to play a show with them.
Yeah, they have I think they had something reviewed in that same issue.
I think so.
It was either that or it was like the issue before, perhaps.
Yeah.
I think it was within the same time period because you guys both released an EP about the same time, I believe.
Sure.
Close. And yeah, those guys are great. They were my first interview actually. Like when I first started doing interviews and stuff, they were my very first interview. So it was very cool to, have them on. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, just so you guys know. I still don't know what I'm doing, but
Yeah, you just learn as it goes.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Horror Hound. Yeah, for sure. I'd like to. I'm gonna put some nudges on Nathan and hopefully get some like punk bands into play because I mean I think it would definitely be because they just had a Horror Hound not this past weekend but the weekend before and they didn't have a show like they normally do just because the COVID stuff and all that jazz. But I feel like once that kind of whenever it does fall away and get back to having shows and stuff, that would really be cool to have I'd love to see them have you guys like the Tomb Tones just have a good fun punk show.
Yeah.
The
I would like to be able to do. We haven't done any yet, but one of my goals would be whether it's Horror Hound or something a little bit closer, being able to do
like a festival,
event.
That'd be cool.
Not this past weekend, so it was around. I think it was the same weekend as Horror Hound. There was a Creep It Real, Orange County, which had like Rhythm Coffin and a few other bands. I think something like that. Even if it's a smaller like event like that.
Yeah. Like little conventions or festivals.
I think Tomb Tones just did Dragon Con. Yeah, like something like that would be sick.
And it's something crazy. They played all 4 days.
Nice.
They played like I think it's a 4-day event, something like that. They played like the main show, the first show, the first day. They played like the main event floor, and then like the next 3 days they played just like almost like casual, just like shows throughout like the day and stuff. I'm like, that'd be just crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. I had a friend who's she does a lot of cosplay and stuff. She actually flew out to that convention from San Diego.
Oh wow.
Wish I like realized those things, that she was out there for that, because maybe I would have said, "Hey, go see the Tomb Tones."
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing I do. Like I like to advertise for people like that, and I'm saying like I remember I think I made a couple posts about like if you're at Dragon Con, go check these guys out while you're at it. It's like when you guys have your upcoming tour, like because I know you guys just announced a tour, like a kind of like a short leg tour coming up at the end of this month into the beginning of October. The first date was the 29th, I believe.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So a week from tomorrow.
Yep, that's gonna. So how is it like? Have you played a show since? I feel like there was maybe you played like one show like since like COVID.
We've played 5.
Okay, because I was thinking you had played maybe a show or a few.
Yeah, just during the July. July was when we started, and then
we played. So we did like 2 weekends back to back, and then we did 3 weekends back to back. But it was like a Saturday, a Friday, and a Saturday, and then we played a show towards the end of August.
Yeah, here, and that was the only one we've played in our hometown area. The rest were, Riverside, LA area.
And we did one in Vegas.
SoCal. Yeah, Vegas. That's our first show we've played out of state. Right?
Really? Well, not ever. Wait. Yeah. Actually, it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
That'd be a good place to, play a show. Because, I mean, was it a good turnout or?
So
That's not good.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
I guess the difficult part was we were thrown on pretty last minute.
Oh, okay.
Just issues with booking at the original spot we were supposed to book at. And so we got thrown on. That was cool to even have that opportunity.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But we were supposed to play a different place.
Yeah, we were originally supposed to play at a different place. That one fell through. We jumped on to a show with our buddies in Dead at Midnight, and they were playing with
Three Bad Jacks.
And so everyone was it was packed for those bands.
Yeah.
But not so much guys.
But for us, it was people were there. They just again, we were the opener.
We were the crazy out of town weirdos that nobody was there for. But so we had a decent crowd considering that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun.
It was fun.
It was still fun.
Yeah, we brought a beach ball, so we threw that out into the crowd and just try to have fun with it. We had a little bit more time than I think we expected, so we're like, let's play this one. Let's play that one.
Well, that's good. I mean, at least you have fun with it. Like, being an opener, that would just have to be kind of like a little nerve-wracking, especially when it's like you said, it was kind of a last-minute thing, kind of just like, here, you guys are playing here in front of people that have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
It was also funny because I feel like the velocity of the show started super high with us because we were probably the most punky weirdos, and then Dead at Midnight can go pretty hard, punk. But then Three Bad Jacks was the most rockabilly, classic rockabilly. So it was it stepped down from punk and psychobilly down to classic rockabilly. So that probably threw some people off too.
Sure.
Those guys were better than the headliners.
That's
what I.
That you mentioned about, kind of the nervousness of opening. There's this weird thing that I'm sure you noticed this too. Is I've been playing in bands for a long time, so for me it's not necessarily a nervousness to open, but it's like if you're opening, that's kind of a shitty spot. If you're closing the wrong show, that's probably a shitty spot too. The good sweet spot somewhere in the middle.
It seems like the best acts are generally like statistically speaking would be like second to last.
Yeah.
It seems like it's always like this, like, the one, like the band before the very last band is always like the best performance.
Yeah. What my buddy and he and I used to be in a band when we were teenagers. What we've come to realize is it's like you're a punk headliner. So at a house show, the punk headliner is the one who plays before the cops come. And then they become the actual bill headliner the next show, and they don't get to play because the cops came.
Oh, no.
So,
well, that's why you put the actual headliner a band or two before the last
middle,
band.
Right?
Yeah.
The touring band always gets, and this is just common courtesy, should be touring band sandwiched somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. I can agree with that, just because it just seems like that's where the energy is a lot of times, depending on the bands.
Sure.
Like going to see, for instance, I think it was a Mayhem tour. I think Korn was the headliner. Of course, I've seen Korn, a billion times, but like Rob Zombie and then Korn, and of course Rob Zombie has all the energy, and then Korn was just kind of playing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, yeah, they're the headliner. It was like, oh, we're just playing a show, whatever.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie, of course, he goes out there and. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a bad example because those are two big bands that always have high energy.
Sure.
Okay, I have an example similar to that. I was at the 91 X Fest a couple years ago. It's just a big radio-hosted festival down here. And the headliners were Cheap Trick and The Offspring.
Oh, wow.
I didn't go to that, but I remember that.
Yeah, I went there for, I mean, you're there. I want to see them anyway, right? I was there for some other bands like in the middle. But The Offspring was good, and they were really high energy. I mean, I know they're kind of an older band. Not as old as Cheap Trick, but they kind of took it out of everybody. And then Cheap Trick plays, which is appropriate, because Cheap Trick's, from like the 70s, and they're just kind of cruising, playing whatever, all their hits or whatever. So everyone was like tired while Cheap Trick was playing. But it was appropriate because it was kind of like bedtime rock and roll.
Right. But it sucks. I've had that experience where it was, where I didn't see that coming out. I think it was in high school. I went to see Journey and Def Leppard. And I was I enjoy both bands, but was there to see Def Leppard, right? But they were headlining it, and I guess I went too hard, as hard as you can go, I guess, for Journey. I was like way too into it. So by the time Def Leppard played, I was like, I'm going to sit here and enjoy this instead now,
Yeah, for sure. It's like, well, I think it's like I went and seen, well, no, that's a bad example because Blink-182 has always been one of my favorite bands, but like My Chemical Romance played with them.
Yeah.
Like they had they blew it out of the water. Like this one show, I was kind of glad that I got to see them before they split. Was Chemical Romance, because I mean they were stellar.
Dude, I got to see them play. So Linkin Park used to do Project Revolution. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
I got to see Linkin Park and My Chem. Like it was Linkin Park headlining, My Chem being the supporting act, when they were still touring on the Black Parade album. And Him, I really like the band Him, but that show wasn't very good for them. I think he was probably like on drugs and shit and just wasn't into it. But I got to see them. I got to see Mindless Self-Indulgence, who I really enjoyed. Like it was a cool show. So I like when all those bands, Placebo. I don't know much of their stuff at the time, but I got to see them. That was cool.
Yeah, I remember Project Revolution because I remember buying every Linkin Park album. There'd always be that little pamphlet thing that says,
Yeah,
LP Underground,
Oh, dude, I'm so bummed out that I never got to be a part of that because I was too young to. It's
Yeah.
like $50. Like I'm in middle school or I'm in elementary school. You know.
Yeah, it's 2003. I'm in middle school. I can't buy this.
Yeah. Right.
But they always got like you got like a CD with like unreleased tracks that nobody else could get, and it's just like
And they had the coolest merch too. Like the merch that they would sell in stores at like Hot Topic was cool, but like the merch that they had for the underground was like much better.
They saved the good.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Chester.
Oh God, that's a bomb. I have an LP tattoo, so I have the Hybrid Theory logo. Like I was weeping that day. Such a loss to our musical, like our generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what would you, if you had to pick? I think I already know your answer to this, but Hybrid Theory or Meteora?
Hybrid Theory for sure. It's funny because I feel like my opinion on the albums kind of goes in order, at least until the third album. So it's Hybrid Theory, Meteora, Minutes to Midnight. And I actually really like their most recent one a lot. One More Light.
Yeah, that's right.
That I haven't listened enough. I've listened to them like a good amount of times, but I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, this one. Actually, I did like 1,000 Suns a lot too. That one was really different.
It was weird, yeah, because it was like a concept album for them.
Yeah.
Do that kind of.
They did a lot for Robert. I don't know if you know that one, but they did a lot of like sampling and like kind of scratching all over it.
Really?
So it was a Linkin Park album, but it vibed like a hip hop album.
Yeah.
What year did that come out?
2010 or 2011. Yeah, 2011.
Because like it would be a song and then it'd be like a sample and then and then it was like a total of maybe 10 songs all together, and the rest of them were like sample tracks or something.
They had really good the songs they had though were really good, you know.
Yeah, like so an album that really surprised me was Living Things.
Okay, yeah, that was their like punk album. No, that was The Hunt. That was the other one. The
Hunting Party.
Yeah.
Living Things kind of had like
very influenced by like Gorilla Biscuit style hardcore. It didn't sound like that, but you could tell that was where they were going. Right.
To me, Living Things kind of had like a new, like, because, you know, obviously they changed their sound a lot.
Yeah.
It had that new sound, but it also kind of felt like they were heading back a little bit to like the older days, but still still really new, but it had a lot of great, like, Lost in the Echo and songs like that.
Yeah.
Enough about Linkin Park. Let's dive into some punk rock music, like the Writhers, for instance.
I hear they're all right.
I hear they suck live.
I've heard the opposite. I think one of our calling cards is our live.
That's true. That's true.
I think for me personally, I think we've talked about this too. I think the live show and the recordings should be different, at least a little bit. I think we do a good job of kind of keeping the recordings in the middle, but if you haven't seen us,
it's definitely a different experience. Yeah. I mean, you can say that for most bands,
you can say that for anyone. Yeah, you can see us on a bad day too, and be like, "Well, that's what they were talking about. They suck live."
Yeah.
I think it was either yesterday or the day before. I was looking up a couple of your live videos, which obviously that doesn't do it justice, but
they're
still
old too.
getting to see that energy. I mean, there's definitely a lot of energy there, like especially with Robert and his, you know, with your charisma, I guess what we would call that.
My writhing, if you will.
Your writhing. Robert's rides. So let's talk. So getting back into shows. So how does it feel to be back, you know, playing shows after being, you know, away from it for so long?
It feels good. It's it was definitely weird. Like our first show was that one like Compton show, right? It's like a backyard show.
Was that Compton or Riverside? It was Compton.
It was Compton. Yeah. Okay, so that, I mean, it's a house show, so it was all chill anyway. But I don't know. There's just something about actually, you know, maybe it's not that, because so during the pandemic in October last year, we did a live stream show. That's probably where this would apply. I was gonna say the live stream show and kind of these last couple shows we played. I've never really been nervous before a show. Like, even like with like the last bands I played when we played like at like House of Blues or whatever, like it's just kind of like, yeah, let's go out there, let's do it, let's kick it. But I don't know, just something about, I guess, from being away from it for so long, and not only from performing but from like people, it is kind of weird getting back. But it's kind of like riding a bike, I think. As soon as we kick it off, business as usual.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I wouldn't have known that if you didn't share about it.
Oh,
you
okay.
know, I couldn't tell that. Well, I couldn't tell that you were any more nervous than a normal. You know, than before.
Just a little bit, but
I think one of the things that, you know, the last show that we played, which was in August, told me was, I mean, for me, the important thing now versus like, oh, I want to give these people a good show and I'm doing this for the crowd, and as cool as that is, I am all about the moment where we are all in sort of the same synergy, you know, like it's what it reminds me of is like that sweet spot. Okay, we're all going to do it. We all look back at each other and we're like, yeah, we're doing this. You know, that moment doesn't ever, that particular moment doesn't happen often, but it happens, you know, and I feel like we were all sort of in that energy.
Definitely.
The house shows are a little different, I think, because we have to kind of figure out like, oh my God, there's no light here, so I can't see what I'm playing, or I'm over here like trying to play on like a drum set that's made for like a 5-year-old, you know, and they actually, it feels like my stuff is going to go through the plastic, you know what I mean? So
I think the only other problem with house shows, as much as I love them, is like when it's not, when you can tell, like if the show isn't in, you know, your neck of the woods, or if you can tell people aren't really vibing with you.
Yeah.
That's kind of sucks.
Sure. Like we had, going back to what we had said about the timing, right? We played a show in Riverside. It was this backyard lot show. Everyone was vibing for most of the bands. But then the what I would consider the headliner, at, you know, just in retrospect, the headliner played, and it was late.
Was that right before us?
It was right before us.
Yeah.
So it was a band right before us. They played. Everyone went fucking wild. And then they started leaving, and then there's us playing to like, I mean, there's still a good amount of people watching.
Yeah.
But park, and everyone's like, hey, it's already kind of late, and you know, I think they were watching because they were in like a different area, which makes it, you know, a little bit, the vibe changes, right? If there's people, you know, pitting and everyone's in front of us, then that's a good way to get us energy, you know.
Yeah.
But they were all kind of sitting in like cars in like a back lot or something. You know?
It was
It was kind of a weird setup, but it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. I mean, as far as for us, it
Sure.
was kind of a weirdo show.
I feel like I inhaled a lot of dirt.
Yeah.
It was in a dirt lot. So
It'd have been cool to have, because this, going back to Horror Hound for a second, they were supposed to have, because they had the convention center, and then there's a hotel across the street that's like the host hotel where all the people stay and whatnot. They have this hotel is like this completely revamped since they've had a show. So like basically 2 years coming, this hotel has been kind of completely revamped. They have this little like this courtyard where you're like, it's kind of like just a chill area. They're supposed to have like some type of drive-in type of thing, like where they were going to have this like blow up screen, and they're going to have like people, you know, not obviously not in cars, but like, you know, as if it were a drive-in. And I guess it got too windy, so they canceled it because it was messing with the blow-up screen, I guess. But like they ended up having like a band playing. It was just like a low. I think they were from like the Dayton area, so it was like a half hour from Cincinnati. They were an instrumental band, but they were like old school, like almost surfer rock sounding. It was really interesting. But getting us, like, having you guys play something like that, I think that'd be really cool. Such a chill environment, but like getting like the people up and going, I feel like it'd be a good time.
Yeah, those things, that would be fun. Something like that.
I'm definitely gonna pull some.
We have no chill, but you know.
Yeah, definitely. Like I know, because you guys, I mean, that'd be kind of a, I don't know how you would, if you would have, you would probably have to fly out here, or, you know, drive, because I mean, I wouldn't want, that'd be a hell of a drive from San Diego area to Cincinnati, Ohio.
Right.
I've driven to Illinois before, so
took about a day, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was like marathon. It was like when I was in high school, so there was four of us in the car, and we just kind of like marathoned it. As soon as one person's tired, boom, someone else is driving. Yeah, it took like a day or two maybe.
From my understanding, and I don't know if this is, I think Horror Hound was actually that, and this is a band that like I think you guys when you guys were describing your sound and your like your Bandcamp page as Blitz Kid, like was one of your like influences. Apparently, they were supposed to be doing it, like playing at Horror Hound, which I feel like that'd be really cool. Like I don't think I've heard like a little of their stuff, but not enough to really know them well. And I feel like that'd be a really cool show to see.
If you listen to like a good majority of modern horror punk, you're basically listening to
everyone's ripping
like
off. Everyone's ripping off Blitz Kid.
They're generally kind of older, aren't they? Like 90s ish.
Yeah, like early 2000s.
Yeah, I think they started in the late 90s.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, nobody's as big as the Misfits, but they're kind of like number two.
Sure,
when it comes to horror punk.
Sure.
Yeah,
it's like they were. I use this obviously loosely, playfully. Like they're ripping off the Misfits, but everyone else is ripping off Blitz Kid.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
But they definitely have.
Have their own thing.
There's a reason people rip them.
Yeah,
off.
of course.
There is a reason. Yeah, like there's a band called the Misfits.
Oh yeah, the Misfits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm buddies with some of those guys. They're at first I wasn't sure about it. I was like, I don't get this. Why aren't they playing Smith songs like Misfit songs and Misfit songs like Smith songs, right? But then I saw them live and I'm like, I get it now. Like I understand why they're doing this because I don't drink, but drunk people around me, they're like, I know this fucking song. I'm gonna sing it exactly the way I remember it. They wouldn't do that if the song was switched, you know.
They do?
Yeah, they're
playing
covers. Yeah, they're playing covers.
It's just straight covers?
It's just straight covers, but they have original songs that sound like the Misfits or like the Smiths. And again, at first I was like, okay, this is cool, but I don't get it. But seeing it live, I'm like, for the same reason. A Smiths fan who's inebriated might be like, I love this fucking song. This is my favorite Smith song. And then they're like, oh shit. Then when they sober up, they're like, that wasn't a Smith song at all. You know? So it's brilliant. I feel like it's a good. They're fun, right? They're fun. They do the whole makeup. They do. One of the guys plays Morrissey really well on stage. He's like, flailing around flowers, and they're just a fun time. So.
Yeah, I think they dropped an EP about maybe a year ago. I think it was their original songs.
Yeah.
I forget what it was, like an All Hallows EP or something like that. It was like it had a pumpkin on the cover.
Yeah. It was Every Day is Halloween, I think.
Yeah, I knew it was something Halloween because I was like, yeah, that I'm gonna listen to that just because if it has a pumpkin on it, I'm gonna listen to it. It could be something completely shitty, and I'm gonna be like, oh, there's a pumpkin on this. I'm gonna go check it out.
Well, if those are your standards, then you're gonna love our next single.
Yeah, it's gonna have a pumpkin.
It's gonna have a pumpkin on it.
So when does let's get back into your guys' stuff. Let's stop talking about everybody else and let's be selfish for a minute. Let's talk about you guys. So when's your next EP? Well, yeah, we'll get to that eventually, but next track dropping.
What?
I don't
remember. The day of
remember.
the San Diego show or the following Friday?
To be honest, I think it was the following Friday, but
following
I'm
Friday.
not sure. I don't remember.
Jeez,
So-
I got.
I think it was that day, though. I think it was the 16th or the whatever day's a Friday, the 16th or the 15th.
The 9th is Saturday.
So 7 days away.
No, 6 days.
I know. So
this collection of
15th.
songs. Okay.
What's that?
So will these songs eventually become like an EP? Like, do you think these
No.
Should they just be standalone songs?
Singles, yeah. We might collect like a bunch of things in the future. I kind of have a
Is it
plan
me
because
that's hopping?
technically. What's that?
I don't know if you guys were lagging or I was lagging. One of the two.
Oh, somebody's lagging. Sorry about that.
See, It's got to be one of us.
Don't look at me.
My bad.
Excuse me.
But anyway, continue from what you were saying about something rather.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that technically our collections like In One Gulp and Ghastly Reminders and the singles, well, especially not the singles, but In One Gulp, Ghastly Reminders aren't really full albums. So
Yeah,
all like smaller projects. Someday we might make a compilation of like all our EPs and singles and maybe demos or something. But that would be on the distant horizon.
gotcha. So are you currently working to release an eventual full-length album, or?
Yeah, but we're in very early stages. We actually have another EP planned before we do that.
Will it will it continue the lore of the Devil Mask?
Yes, it'll actually be kind of like.
Do you mean the album or the new EP?
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess it would be the EP, because I mean it seems like there's a trend with so far with the two EPs. Like, the Devil Mask arrives on the Ghastly Reminders cover, and then you kind of see him evolve on the In One Gulp cover into this giant creature like thing. So, and then of course the last track is the Devil Mask defeated ? And it's like, to be continued.
The Devil Mask will be, I suppose you're going to hear it first here. Devil Mask, the plan is Devil Mask will be kind of like reintroduced again and concluded with our first full-length project.
So he's kind of become like your mascot of sorts. So is it going to be like, to conclude him, will he just like be like will you like create a new character in his place, or?
Yeah, we have like some other characters that we've been kind of playing around with, but you haven't seen a whole lot of them. I think our new mascot is actually a character named Roach Boy. He's a giant, sentient cockroach who thinks he's a human being.
Very cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, you actually see him if you've seen that poster that has like the whole group on it, the whole band on it. He's on that.
The back of this?
Yeah, the back of the double-sided poster. Yeah, he's in the CD, which I know you don't have, but the picture is on Instagram. So
okay, I'm sure I'll have to go back and re-glance at the picture to see if I can find this creature.
Yeah, well, like I said too, we'll send you a copy of the CD, and when you flip through it, I'm not going to show it close here, but you kind of get some vibes or whatever inside the CD artwork.
I appreciate it. I'd love to have a copy.
Yeah, that character will be shared a little bit in the next EP.
Yeah, for sure. And in fact, that's what's perfect about it. Like you said, these first two projects kind of like dance around the whole Devil Mask idea. And if we just said we're going to conclude that story in the album, then what are we going to do? So this next project will actually kind of be a better introduction to that Roach Boy character.
Interesting. So it's kind of like a goodbye, like defeat this character to bring on a new monster, basically.
Basically, except Roach Boy isn't a monster. He's an annoying friend.
Gotcha. So Devil Mask is indeed like not somebody you'd want to dick with.
No, not at all.
So do you have like a background on this character? Like, am I diving too deep here?
Yes, but there.
It's a moral curiosity. I'm just interested because it's such a unique design. I think is why it really just attracts me to the concept, I guess.
Well, it is supposed to titillate for sure. But yes, there is a whole backstory, if you will, with Devil Mask and us, and we'll be happy to have him out of our hair eventually. It's not fun having I mean, you've seen him on the CD cover, like
it's terrifying.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah. No.
Eat people.
Yeah.
And gulp. blast it. But one that's like, because I first heard from you guys, first heard of you guys was the N1 Gulp EP, and I hadn't really dove into the Ghastly Reminders album, or Ghastly Reminders.
Yeah.
I hadn't really dove into that EP yet, and I listened to it like here and there, and it was only recently that I really just like it kind of just like clicked how much I really liked that EP almost over N1 Gulp. Just because the overall, like, you know, I like the intro. No, I don't know if it's as good as the Devil Mask Approaches, but it has its own, like, obviously its own vibe. The whole like those two EPs are their own enigmas for sure. Like, one has it has its own vibe. Obviously, like with I Like to Leave Marks. That song just is the most unique, like, blend of punk and Frank Sinatra I've ever heard.
That's a fan favorite. That's definitely one you should experience live.
Yeah, I would love to hear that live, just because it's just so, like, you don't expect it. Like, you're just like, what am I listening to right now? And then, like, the curve happens at the end, towards the end of the song, where you're gonna turn. It's just like, oh, this just got groovy.
That's an audience interaction song too. So that'd
be really cool to see. So let's talk about song, like, favorites wise. Like, what are Robert and Rikk, like, your favorite song and or songs to play live?
To play live, or just favorite songs in general?
Well, either or, I guess, like live or in general.
Okay. It's funny because for me, I felt validated when you had mentioned Devil Mask Approaches, because that one's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Even bro, like, it's so short, but we wrote it, and we this happens a lot, where we'll write something like, yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Like, I wish we could just keep going with it, but it was meant to be a short intro.
Yeah. That was never meant to be a full song.
Actually, I think it was. I think, if I remember correctly, Chewy and I wrote that, like the drums and the guitar part, as a different idea for something we have already completed now, right?
For what?
Ride or Die.
Oh, yeah.
So originally it was meant to be that. But then we took that and we went somewhere else with it, and it became the intro and then the outro for N1 Gulp. So that song, those two songs are two of my favorites to have written.
Performing. What about
performing? I also really like Cold Day, which is off of this one. But performing, I think one of my favorite songs to perform is What Is That? And Kill the Monster. I think those are my two, at least in the ones that people know. Those are my two favorites right now. They have, like, good energy. I know that Robert and I were talking about this before, but What Is That was meant to be like a thrashy, like, skate sort of punk song.
Yeah.
And the beat that on it is a surf beat. So in my head, I hear it as a surf song. But then we talk about it, it's like, that wasn't supposed to be a surf song. You know, but I really like playing that sort of mixture, and it's a lot of energy. And then Kill the Monster has, like, that cool breakdown in it that I enjoy doing. So
actually, real quick, I just want to, on that topic, let me diverge. What do you think about What Is That? What kind of song does it sound like to you?
So what is that? That's on N1 Gulp, correct?
Yeah.
I think it's let me think about it, because I haven't listened to that. I haven't listened to that one in a hot second. But I remember it being one of, like, it kind of goes numerical for me when it comes to favorite tracks on that song. But yeah, What Is That it's definitely got its own, it has it's got a really good energy to it. Like, it's just really, like, in your face.
Cool.
But I think if I had to go with favorite tracks on that, it would probably be, probably Cold Day. Well, Devil Mask Approaches, honestly. As, like,
I feel very validated right now, because Cold Day and Devil Mask Approaches, for some, and I get it, Rot is everyone's
Rot is a favorite too. Don't get me wrong. I love that.
upbeat horror punk song. But I think for me, Cold Day was my favorite song, aside from Devil Mask Approach.
A lot of lyricism.
Yeah.
That whole EP has great lyricism, though.
Thank you.
You guys all have like all your stuff that there's not a song that you guys have made so far that's bad or remotely not good. Like
That you heard.
Yes, yes.
that I've heard. This next song might be a different story. Who knows?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I do not think so.
Okay, well, I was
I'm
going to
excited
say
about
favorite song to play. Well, we're talking about In One Gulp. I think my favorite songs on In One Gulp are like the inverse is It's What Is That and Pulp. And so
Pulp.
different.
How could I forget Pulp?
I think, you know what it is? I think that one, I really like Pulp, but I think having to play it over and over is what got me.
That's true.
Because
Wait, like performing?
No, music video.
Oh, that's true.
I think that killed it for me for a minute, you know?
Yeah. We were supposed to have a music video for Pulp, and that was kind of a...
Did it not out?
It just didn't really turn out how I wanted. I'll take responsibility. It's kind of my call, but I do feel like the rest of the band wasn't feeling it either, but they were being more positive.
Yeah.
Because we did spend money on it. It's funny because I was trying to be like diplomatic or whatever because we all put like effort and money into it and stuff. And I was just like, well, I'm going to be honest. Like everyone's like, yeah, it's looking all right. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't like it. And then as soon as I said that, everyone else is like, yeah, it's not that great or whatever.
Yeah.
So we've used a couple screenshots and clips, and we plan on going back to it for little bits just for promo and stuff. But I don't think it'll be released as a full piece right now.
Damn.
We'll have to do it.
Should do one for. I think you could do a lot of fun. There'd be a lot of fun ideas for Rot.
Yeah, well, I feel like when we get around it, because we'll probably go back to old songs and make videos like when we have the time, when we get that groove going for music videos. But we definitely have to do Rot just because everyone likes it so much.
We're never short on like ideas.
Oh yeah,
like we have way too many ideas and not enough ability, not necessarily ability to do it, but like
it's like
time and money and you know what I mean. So
motivation.
Motivation. We've had like a list, like a laundry list of things to do that we're like, yeah, that would be awesome. Let's get that done, and then just sort of life.
Yeah, that's kind of how, like, with me and with my stuff that I do, it's just like, I think you guys are my first interview I've done on here in probably at least 3 or 4 weeks. Of course, a lot of that has to do with getting a hold of people, contacting,
especially live.
Yeah.
That's a little more logistically tricky.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. I do have things are starting to pick up a little bit. I do have some people that have gotten back with me, and I think October is going to be pretty busy on this page. Which I'm pretty excited. I think it's not confirmed, but me and her have talked about it. From Friday the 13th Part 2, Lauren Marie Taylor, who played Vicky.
Nice,
that's cool.
I think I met her at Horror Hound recently, and I was kind of going back and forth with her on Messenger on here. And she said it'd be like probably once because she's been doing a lot of convention appearances, and she says once those slow down a little bit, we'll probably pick back up on something.
Right on.
I'm really hoping because haunted houses are starting to open up, and I'm really there's a place close to me called the Dent Schoolhouse that I actually used to work at. So, I mean, I know who the owners are. They know who I am. And I was like, you should let me come up there and do a segment for my page sometime. To see, if you guys are ever in the Cincinnati area around Halloween time, you guys definitely need to check out that haunted house because it is, you could go through that place without actors in it, and it's just gorgeous.
Awesome.
like the detail and everything. I don't know if you guys are haunted house goers, but I feel like
I went to one that was like in Burbank, like in the LA area, and but it was like done in somebody's house. But I guess it was made by like you know, lower level like industry professional people.
That's cool.
This house, like there was like a part where it feels like you're in like a broken elevator. Like it's in somebody's house, like in this little like, not, I wouldn't call it suburbs, but like this like neighborhood or whatever. It was crazy. It was like insane for being like where it is, like at somebody's house, like and not like a properly, I mean, I don't really know how it works, like a properly like licensed and advertised kind of place. It was pretty cool.
that sounds pretty neat. Like I live about an hour-ish away from like Indianapolis and then like Cincinnati. So I'm kind of like the midpoint when it comes to those two. So like Cincinnati, for instance, the Dent Schoolhouse, like there's a story behind it. Like this building is like old as hell. It used to be an actual schoolhouse. That's what makes it so like unique. Like I'll if I get the chance, I'll send you guys like a picture of it or whatnot, or like a link to their website.
Yeah.
Like, there's a story behind it. Like back in like the 30s and 40s, like these kids started going missing, and like basically like a missing kid story, and like that. Like what ends up being like the janitor had like killed all these kids and kept them in the basement and stuff like that. And It's apparently a legend that could be real, but like there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of fabrication there, but it's also not unrealistic that could have actually happened. But yeah, the place is definitely spooky. Like I've worked there obviously, and like just being there, like you feel a little sense of unease actually, like when like there's nobody walking through there and you're in your scene by yourself. It's like it's a little creepy down here, not just because of all the decorations either.
Wow, that's cool.
That does sound cool.
It's definitely a lot of fun, especially like when they do like their like a lot of haunts are doing like they do like lights out events where they like send you through with a glow stick. That's a lot of fun.
That's rad.
Because you don't see anything. Like these places are they're pitch black. You can't see like 2 inches in front of your nose. So
Wow.
You don't see anything coming, and it's pretty exciting. So anyways, what else? I was going to cover something else, and I feel like it left me. If it looks like I'm looking off in the distance, I actually have a window right here, and I'm looking out the window.
I'm looking at the distance. It's okay. We have those moments.
So, well, we've covered you know the music, the new music, which not really new music, like with the whole new track.
We should talk about the new song that's coming out. We only, I think, mentioned it in passing.
Yeah, the track that comes out in 2 weeks. You said, I believe it was.
October 15th. Yeah, October 15th.
So, question before we get to that: Spend the Night. Will that be available on like? Because I know right now it's only kind of available on like Bandcamp and stuff like that. Will that be available eventually, like on like Apple Music and stuff?
Yes, that's a little bit my fault, just kind of lagging on getting that process going. But I'm going to be getting the same time that the new song's coming out. They'll be processed the same time. Okay. Unfortunately, with digital distribution, it also takes like a couple weeks to be like processed. So that's kind of why Bandcamp is the exclusive home right now, just because one, it's the exclusivity, and two, it's like easy to just put stuff up there.
Yeah, for sure. Like, because I mean, you basically just it's kind of like Dropbox, really, isn't it? Kind of like you just like
or YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
even.
Yeah.
That's initially that's what I do with this stuff. Like, I have an app I use for the longest time when I first started doing my interviews. I had to manually record my screen. Like, so basically, I'd have to pull up the video on Instagram.
Yeah.
Do a screen record. So, say for instance, I had an hour and a half interview I have done. I'd have to sit there for an hour and a half and wait for that to record in order to have a saved copy of it to put it on YouTube.
Fun.
Well, lucky for me, I work third shift at a factory, so I could just kind of leave my phone sit for a while and not worry about it and go like do work. But like, oh, it's just like, I'm like, and then the first time I did it, I had my volume all the way down. So I was sitting there watching the video because it was like basically done. I was sitting there watching it and I couldn't hear anything. And I was turning the volume up. I'm like, why can I not hear anything? And I realized because I had the volume off, it recorded it that way. So, so like an hour and a half wasted. I had to go back. Finally, I'm getting to it. I found an app where I can instant save things.
Nice.
Right.
So, so much. Like literally, I can like when we're done with this, which I doubt I'll do it tonight. I'm actually probably gonna go to bed after this because I work, like I said, I work third shift, and I sleep in the evenings. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, my wife goes to her parents with my kids, so I'm like, well, that's why I was asking you specifically about Tuesdays and Thursdays because those are my free days, so to speak. My free hour, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I just completely lost my train of thought. That tells you I'm a little tired. Yeah, I work at.
Well, yeah, Spend the Night will be on Apple Music and Spotify shortcoming. Probably by the time we're in the middle of the tour, it should be up, something like that. Just before the new song comes out.
So the new song title.
Halloween Inside. That's what the tour is named after.
Gotcha. Well, that's very fitting. Yeah, Halloween Inside. But feels like it's a pandemic thing.
Actually, it's kind of funny. So the song technically isn't about that, but it originally was. And we were, during the pandemic, we were challenged by a model and a musician in her own right, Kara Spade, to a 24-hour song it was 24 hours, right? Yeah, 24-hour songwriting contest. And the theme had to be about the year. So we ended up writing that song as Halloween Inside. Technically, if you only count the time that we worked on it, it took us like 6 hours to write like the lyrics and the music and record a kind of crummy demo, live demo of it. But that version is more kind of about the pandemic, but even then it wasn't. Like it kind of starts as about the pandemic and then it kind of switches directions mid-song. But it's all about Halloween Inside.
Which is still good. Halloween Anywhere is good.
Yeah.
Describe the song, like what's like is it more of like something, along the lines of, In One Gulp or Ghastly Reminders or a mixture of both?
Oh, stylistically?
Yeah, stylistically.
What do you think? It's definitely more crampsy, like rockabilly.
Rockabilly-ish. Okay, gotcha.
It kind of has.
Upbeat.
What was that?
Most of your stuff's upbeat. What am I saying?
It kind of has some B-52 vibes.
I think it's more of to me, it's more of a surfy B-52 song.
Sure.
When we wrote it,
I like it.
It was very like Deadbolt, sort of like kind of still in that psychobilly realm, but like more in the surfabilly, whatever you call that kind of.
Sure.
There's all sorts of billies out there.
There's a lot of billies.
A lot of billies.
Yeah.
I had a band called the Graveyard Bashers. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're from Finland.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Like, that was kind of a weird like coincidence, like because their time zone's really weird. Because it was like, I think it was like 4:00 here and like 11:00 there. So it was like right around the time their new album was getting ready to drop. So that was kind of cool. We were like talking as their album was dropping.
Oh wow,
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Speaking of stylistic songs,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard it or not, but we were talking about the Tomb Tones earlier. They have a song on their Pumpkin Guts album that I described to them as almost, oh gosh, now the band's left me, like Blue Oyster Cultish. It's called Dracula's Brother.
Yeah, that song is awesome.
I love that.
Nice.
I actually in our interview, I asked them. So here, I have a question for you. What's Dracula's brother's name? They're like, why would you ask such a question? It was funny. They're like, we'll call you. They had to be super lazy about it. Like, you're Dracula and you're Zacula.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I really like. That'd be really cool to, I think, see you two kind of go together because you guys have similar. Kyle's like, he just has such a unique like sensibility with his voice for one, and what he can do with a guitar. Like,
And we both wear suspenders.
Yeah.
that too. He actually just got laser eye surgery, so he won't have glasses now, which is weird because I think his glasses are kind of a part of him.
Yeah, maybe he'll just wear frames.
Well, that sucks because he should just have laser eyes now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Then he'll have to wear one
Laser
of those
eye
like
surgery.
Cyclops frames.
Yeah, then he always has to wear glasses. Those like red ones.
Let's talk about that.
I wanted to mention that for anyone who is able to see us on tour, since it is the Halloween Inside Tour, we will be playing this song throughout the tour.
Yes.
I think we've only played it at one show so far, the Vegas one.
Yeah.
So
I thought we played it in Glendale.
no,
No, just
no, we
Vegas?
took it off the set list for that night.
We've only played it once.
So it's more an exclusive for the tour.
Yeah.
Very cool. So will you so this is so you guys are headlining this tour. So will there be like do you have guests for this tour, or is it kind of like a
So planning a tour is kind of a weird thing. I think a lot of, I'd say, bigger bands mainly, but also like just depending on the venues and stuff, get the opportunity of like bringing people along with them, if that makes sense, like a supporting act or as a 2-band act or whatever. I mean, booking just us was hard enough, you know.
my.
So the tour mainly is us, but every spot has like local friends or other bands that are, kind of either within the punk genre.
Yeah.
Like we're playing with. I'm trying to think. So we're playing with like Six Silver Bullets for the first day in Santa Ana. We're playing with Hideous Monster up in Portland. We're playing with Evelyn's Casket and Raw Dog up in Washington. So those are like closer within our range of like punk, horror punk stuff.
I think I found Evelyn's Casket like in recommendations from listening to you guys actually.
Yeah, that's a good band, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Be a nice sleepover at David's. Pillow fights and cookies and all the whole
That's
thing.
what Spend the Night's about.
Yeah.
It's about
So-
Evelyn's Casket.
I got a completely different vibe from that song.
Evelyn's Casket.
I need to go listen to that song again because for whatever reason I felt like it was about spending the night at a haunted house. But maybe I was hearing things.
Yeah, maybe we're just saying things.
Yeah.
Too. I don't know.
Are you even talking about the same song?
We talked about this already. Maybe it was.
We covered We're not going to mention where you guys wrote the same song twice, but they're both two different themes.
Do that sometime.
True, yeah.
That'd be funny.
Oh gosh, totally.
Yeah. Sometimes a song can change, 5 years later, and you're like, wait a minute. Those weren't the lyrics when I first heard it.
Or wrote it. Yeah.
Or you can forget the words and
Or you
always
forget
sing
it,
different
sing
words.
different words. Yeah, exactly.
completely rewrite the song while you're playing it.
That's true.
We could do
That's
that
true.
too. We
We've
can
done
do it
that.
all.
We've done something like that.
Oh man, we had this great show. It was like our third show ever. This guy wasn't even supposed to be there. He wasn't like the band's permanent drummer at first, and he agreed, oh yeah, I can swing by, I can play the show. It was in this tiny, the most like divey sports bar you can think of, like in Lemon Grove. It was great. They had to move like a pool table out of the way, so there was a place for the bands to play. everybody was there, you know, like hookers, and it was
Your
and
family.
blackjack and my family. It's funny. The show with like the prostitutes is the show that my parents decided to come to, and so that was great. But oh man, that show was. We had the right people there. The energy was good. Even the people who owned the bar were all into us and everything. And we had to fill up space because we only had like 4 songs and a cover at the time. And we had to play some more. So it gave the next band time for their drummer to get there. And we ended up playing like a medley that I call it the with the Metallica medley, because it sounded like a Metallica song, but then I just sang like words from every other song, like Barbie Girl and like No Doubt, Spider Webs, a lot of good songs.
We did it a few times where we just like,
but that was the best time.
Do you love, you guys love Metallica? And then I just start doing a basic Lars Ulrich thing, and you know, you just kind of go off.
Yeah.
And we did that for a good, like, 4 to 5 minutes. And then we went to an actual song.
But that first time was legendary. I wish it was on tape.
Yeah.
It's not. So
it was fun.
Go figure.
Good.
The best times are never caught on tape.
You had mentioned like a surfy, like an instrumental band, and we've done that one time too. Where we we played a show on like the first day of summer, and so we talked it up to like, hey, we're ready for summer, and we played like a surf instrumental and grabbed some beach balls and threw them.
We all took our clothes off, and we had like swim trunks on and stuff.
I went from this, you know, regular with the bow tie to a shirt with like flamingos on it, and Chewy took off his pants and he was wearing like swim trunks.
Yeah, I had swim trunks and a pink Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
It was good.
That was fun. That was, I mean, it wasn't 100% written in the moment, but it kind of was.
Yeah.
It was like written like practice.
We jammed it a couple times and then just improvised. Yeah.
It was definitely a jam.
It's a good time. Yeah,
that was fun.
That's another reason the live shows are something to do, because we'll just fuck around, telling bad jokes and, you know, playing songs we don't know how to play.
Extending songs. It's great. It's a good time.
One more time. You said it already.
We've done that.
Yeah.
We've done that where I think we extended Pulp like 3 times.
Pulp's perfect.
Yeah.
And we all take turns because
that was awesome.
Yeah, like because you used to be the one that counted off. We'd finish Pulp, and then I'd start talking about the next song, and then this fucker over here is just like, 1, 2, 3, go, and then we play it again.
But one time where we played it, and I think every single one of us counted it off, like, or at least, you know, me and another member.
Everyone took turns.
There was another time where we were covering what was the song? "Devil in Disguise" by Elvis. And so we're like, this song is by a guy you might know, Elvis. And then we all started singing "Suavemente" by Elvis Crespo. And he's like, no, not that Elvis. And then we started playing the actual song. That was great.
That's good. I like how that song also, I know we're like getting really in the weeds here, but like that song starts out as an Elvis cover, as a Devil in Disguise, and then it turns into Shout.
It was
James
Shout.
Brown, right? No, that's Dave, Sam and Dave.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but the song Shout. And then it turns into the song Shout by Tears for Fears.
It like devolves.
Yeah, it's insane. It's great. We need to do that again.
Yeah.
Or do something like that again.
While we're not playing any like, or we don't have anything set to play on tour, we used to play
anything? We don't know what we're doing on tour.
We're playing our own song.
No. I mean, we don't have any covers set for tour.
Yeah.
But we used to do a lot of covers. At least like
obviously
one.
We didn't have enough songs.
Yeah. Now we have too many
part
songs.
of it too.
We have too many songs.
We probably have at least 2 solid half-hour set lists worth of songs.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But that was always fun. We did our own. and was never really in the horror punk or the punk genre. I mean, we've done like we did a Blitz Kid cover, we did some Misfits covers, we did a Cramps cover. But the ones that we would do that were the most fun were like songs that weren't punk or anything. We kind of made them to sound like us.
My favorite was we used to do a White Stripes.
Yeah, that was my favorite too.
Yeah, we need to bring that one back. Because the fun thing is I would start that song on the accordion all by myself and just be like crying on the mic. Because it'd be Fell in Love with a Girl, and you know what that song's about. And so just like screaming on the mic about this girl, just playing on badly on the accordion. And then everyone joins in and it just goes wild. It's
it kind of becomes like a ska song.
Yeah, kind of.
Like Scottish, you know, like, yeah,
it's good.
That sounds exciting. I'm kind of in my own head here.
That's all right.
I'm getting tired. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
I think we shot our shot, and I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Although, see us on tour if you're in one of those towns.
Yeah, so Santa Ana, Tucson, Vegas, Reno, San Francisco, Portland, Everett, Washington, San Jose, Glendale, and San Diego. If you are in any of those spots on the days that we're there, come and see us.
Yeah.
Have a fun Halloween time, for sure.
Halloween time in early October.
It's been Halloween inside.
Yeah.
So you guys, do you think you'll ever like travel outside of the West Coast area to like play shows?
I think, we would all like to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just gonna say that right now. We'd like to. It'll probably happen.
Yeah, that's going to take a little bit more logistics, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because you guys are like within kind of your travel, like, you know, it's not too far from home. Like, just along the West Coast area, like traveling outside of that comfort zone. I mean, that I'm sure that takes a lot more planning.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even because technically Washington's pretty damn far away.
Yeah.
I mean, Northern California might as well be its own state, so we'll be traveling through there too. And,
I mean, just from like San Diego to Washington alone, I mean, that's still a pretty hefty drive.
Yeah,
I think it'll be easier. This is just me thinking out loud, but I think it'll end up being easier if we were to do like the East Coast compared to doing like Texas and up Central, sort of
the Midwest.
Not that I wouldn't want to do that, but we could. You know, you fly to the East Coast because I don't think we would drive there. Yeah. We play a bunch of things there, and we have connections there with like HP USA people and all those bands that we could probably borrow gear and things like that.
Shit.
You know, whereas like as much as I would love to go to Texas, for example, because I have friends out there and they have good shows from time to time. I think it'd be harder for us to like.
They have
drive.
good shows sometimes.
Yeah. You drive there, you know, because I think it might be smarter to do that, you know, maybe with another band.
We could do like a whole South, go through like.
Yeah.
That's when we would probably meet up with the Tombtones, to be honest.
Right, since they're from Georgia.
Yeah.
The Atlanta area.
I think, maybe answering something that you had asked earlier, a lot of, as I planned the tour, a lot of that was like I said, finding bands that we knew that we could get kind of an in with, or people that we can crash with, you know, like a Southern States tour. I mean, I know like my dad lives in like Mississippi, you know what I mean? So like, cool. But aside from that, I'm like, I don't know as many, people in those areas to like, we can figure it out. So this is a shout out. Anytime you get to work, like anytime you're trying to get shows set up, go through the Pirate Punks. They're always the best. Like in that area, if there's a like Pirate Punks Atlanta, go through them because they're fucking rad, you know. At least in the ones that I've worked with on this tour, they've been the most helpful.
These are touring agents, you said?
They're show bookers in their areas. Yeah, but they're like, oh, we can find the band. Oh, we can do the flyer. Oh, we can bring you food. Are you going to need a place to crash? It's like, yes!
All of them.
Yeah.
Pirate Punks.
That's cool. But yeah, you guys should definitely come to the Cincinnati, Indianapolis area sometime.
And that would work too. I have family in Lebanon, Indiana. So
really?
Like 30 minutes away from 32 an hour away from Indianapolis.
I have family and people I know in Illinois and Tennessee, so yeah. We'll make it work.
It'll happen. It won't happen tomorrow, but it'll happen.
Tight.
Yeah.
Just hang tight.
I'm hanging tight. I'm very tight. Oh wait.
Good to know.
You're welcome. Well, I don't think I have anything else to add. I think we've covered. I mean, we've covered a lot of ground. I mean, a lot more than I actually had written.
Tangents.
I wrote like a list. Like, what am I going to ask these guys? I feel like it's just going to end up becoming an open discussion, which it kind of did, which is what I always aim for to begin with, because it's kind of like I was talking to Rikk. Like, I just like to make it, as casual and as relaxed as possible. I mean, it's always, if both interviewer and interviewee are having a good time. I mean, that's all that matters.
I agree
For sure.
Hopefully, I've not been too lame for you guys.
Nah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's all that matters. I'm glad you guys had fun. Again, thank you guys for allowing me to interview. I mean, it's been kind of a long time coming. I know we've been kind of back and forth, kind of trying to get stuff planned out, but we made it happen. And it was, of course, Robert's like, when was this?
That's all me.
Okay.
Yeah, Rick's the one that's the easiest to get a hold of, it seems.
I have a very flexible schedule.
You therapist, you.
Yeah, I have like a very small caseload, so everything else is just kind of hanging out.
So, let's talk about that just for like a split second. Like, therapy-wise, like, what would you say, like, specifically your therapist, like, what do you mostly cover when, like, what kind of therapist are you mostly?
So originally I wanted to work mainly with like teenagers, but that's sort of morphed into I enjoy working with like middle-aged adults who are sort of, whether they're creatives or very motivated, right? I enjoy working with what's called like the inner critic, so a lot of anxiety stuff is that's my jam. So
Yeah,
like a lot of that stuff. Yeah, but I have different experiences. I've done ADA, autism. I've worked with like at-risk youth and things like that. So
like you were saying, like you were getting close to having your license to do marriage counseling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Contact you in the near future.
What's that?
I said I might be contacting you in the near future.
But you live in a different state, sir, so unfortunately the license does not help you or I at all. But this is what I'm going to say to everyone. I'm not their therapist now, but I will be their friend.
Aw.
Yeah, that's kind of where it starts anyway,
That's kind of, that's initially what, some people just need.
Mm.
Like somebody to
Need a friend.
I just need a friend.
I'm going to say that I'm under the impression that everyone needs a therapist. So do that for yourselves. But friends are nice too.
Yeah, but they let you down.
Oof, man.
Damn.
True.
They're taking a turn.
True, but you didn't need to speak the truth.
No. I wasn't talking about you guys.
Oh, okay.
He was just talking about our friends.
Yeah.
I just spoke a lot of truth there. I should have kept that under wraps. So Robert, like other than the Writhers and your art stuff, like what do you do?
The art stuff. No, I'm just.
Do you have a
What's that?
Do you have a day job?
No. I'm basically self-employed. I'm freelance. I do like design stuff. I fill in the gaps with Uber Eats when my car's not in the shop. So it's I hate to use this word, but it's a hustle.
I get you there. And I've seen some of your work and stuff. And I mean, you got yourself work cut out for you, really.
Yeah, but man, Tell me about it.
Pat yourself on the back. You've got some talents, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Even if other people don't think so, that's all I mean. And as long as you think as long as I think you're talented, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all I wanted to hear from this interview. Wondering,
guy says talented.
What does this guy think about me?
Well, I've already told you about your talents once before. I think you have a voice of an angel.
What was
Heaven's a weird place, though.
A punk Frank Sinatra? Whatever it was.
I wasn't kidding either. That wasn't a joke. Like, I literally, I was like, holy shit, this is like some Frank Sinatra shit right now. Well, gentlemen, I will let you guys get back to your days. I'm gonna go the hell to bed because I am tired.
Get that sleep.
Yeah.
Beauty sleep, wherever that beauty might be, it's not here.
In your beauty sleep.
Yeah. Again, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it, as always. Good luck on the tour.
Thank you.
Look forward to hearing the new songs whenever they do drop, October 15th for the Halloween Inside and, further on. And with that, I'll let you guys get to it and get back to what you were doing.
Back to the writhing.
Yeah.
Writhing.
Thank you.
Yep, of course. You guys take care.
Later, guys.
Whoever's still here.
Yeah, moving.
So I don't know if you guys exit out because I think I might still say some
Okay.
to end my video.
Sounds good. We'll see you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. It's always awkward byes. All right. Well, that was so I just joined as I'm ending. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I appreciate Robert and Rikk for joining me. It was a great time. I enjoyed talking to them about the Writhers and their music and shows and whatnot. And I'm looking forward to hearing their new unreleased tracks coming out in the near future. And of course, like they said, if you're in the California, Washington area, I'll be posting this as well. Their upcoming tour dates to help them out, get them, promoted for their upcoming tour, which starts September 29th. So be on the lookout for that if you're in the California area. Again, thanks to those guys. Before I go, I want to announce that if you haven't noticed or haven't seen my posts recently, the Fright Rags have released a 40th anniversary Elvira collection that is just absolutely awesome. Like they brought back one of their designs. They have a couple new designs. They have a tie-dye shirt, which is really nice. A long sleeve shirt. So celebrate the Mistress of the Dark for their 40th anniversary. Pick one up. Use my promo code RReport10. Go to fright-rags.com and use that. It expires September 30th, so act now. I'll have a new code eventually and hopefully get that up on my stuff so you all can use that. And I don't have anything else for the rest of this. So again, for those of you that stuck around, for those of you that are currently watching, that are watching on YouTube, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.